Congressman Louie Gohmert represents the 1st Congressional District of Texas proudly and joins us right now with his thoughts on, well, the day, the last 24 hours or so and more.
My goodness.
Representative Gohmert, thank you for being here. We'll start with the big one yesterday that was breaking about 23 hours ago, and that is Tillerson out, Pompeo in. Your thoughts on this?
Well, I like Rex Tillerson a lot. I like his Texas ties. I was talking to him back when he was president of Exxon. I said, wow, you know so much about my district in East Texas. How do you know so much? He said, well, I was sent to Tyler by Exxon not long after college. So I like the Texas ties. However, as Secretary of State, he started agreeing too much with McMaster's, who is the Director of National Intelligence. McMaster's has been undermining Trump at every turn. He and Tillerson really strongly disagreed, from what I understand, with the move of us recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, which it's been and will be for eternity. But there was just strong disagreement there. And also, I think Trump's instincts were exactly right on the Iran treaty. It is a treaty, and no matter what Corker or anybody else wanted to say in the Senate, a treaty requires a ratification, requires 2/3 vote in the Senate, and they turned the Constitution upside down on that, and that allowed Obama to send $150 billion, much in cash, to Iran. Trump comes in and says, that's got to go. That's a terrible deal. It's bad for America. It's bad for Israel. And my understanding is that was the biggest disagreement with the president. Tillerson felt like they needed to try to salvage and save the Iran deal. That, like I say, that's very harmful to Western civilization, giving that kind of money to the leading supporter of terrorism. And so they like each other very much. They have a tremendous amount of respect for each other. But I think it was an appropriate thing. When you have disagreements over things like Jerusalem, Israel, and helping Iran get nuclear weapons, which the Iran deal does, I think it's a good move. I think it's very appropriate.
Just a quick question concerning that. We'll get back to the events of the day here. How does something unconstitutional get done when it's unconstitutional?
Boy, you just go right to the heart of it. That is a great question, and the answer is when 2/3 of the Senate decide that it's okay to act outside the Constitution, then they act outside the Constitution, and that's what they did. And the Corker bill just really turned the Constitution upside down. It said that it would take 2/3 vote in the Senate to stop the Iran treaty or the Iran deal. It is a treaty. It modifies existing treaties, and the only way you can do that is with a treaty. But when 2/3 of the Senate said, we think that's okay to violate the Constitution and to change it, well, it doesn't matter what they think. The Constitution is very clear. But that's how that happened, and God bless him. I think Trump was exactly right. The Iran deal, the Iran treaty had to be stopped. We became the biggest financial supporter of the biggest supporter of terrorism in the world, and I think Trump's exactly right. That had to stop. We need to stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons. It's going to be worse dealing with them than it is North Korea. But also keep in mind the same people that negotiated the deal with North Korea that Clinton had, where what a deal. He says, okay, we're going, and Madeleine Albright was negotiating to, we're going to give you all that you need to make nuclear weapons if you will sign on the dotted line that you'll only use it to make nuclear power. We're going to give you all the technology, all you need for nuclear weapons. Just sign on the line. North Korea, Kim Jong-un signed on the line. And shocker, they got all of this, violated the deal that they made with Madeleine Albright and Clinton, and used it to make nuclear weapons. We just have to stop being that stupid. And no matter whether people like or dislike Trump, his instincts on the deal with Iran are exactly right. And he wants to bring it to an end, and Tillerson wanted to keep it. He and McMaster were undermining the president on that issue, so it's time for change.
The president looking at some prototypes for the wall yesterday in California. Your thoughts, Congressman Gohmert, on that trip to California and what it meant to be in politically an enemy territory yesterday for the president?
Well, it's one of the things that's so endearing to me about Trump. He'll go right into a territory where people hate his guts, and I think, that's great. He's not afraid of anything. But I've spent so much time all night, many nights down on the border, and I'm telling you, there are parts of our border where we absolutely have to have a wall. And I heard some idiots yesterday saying, oh, well, he could build the wall 30 feet and there'd be a 32-foot ladder. Give me a break.
Hey, wait a minute. I've got one of those ridiculous at home. I've got one of those.
Yeah,
idiots or ladders?
It actually, when we had the head of Secret Service testifying before our committee before Obama left office, I said, look, you guys have got to get your story straight. You're raising the fence and wall around the White House by 5 feet, while your administration's saying fences and walls don't work. Which is it? Either you need to help build the wall on the border, or you need to tear the wall and the fence down around the White House. Well, they chose not to tear it down around the White House. They think it does work, and it will work. And I love what Trump said yesterday. Hey, we want the prototype that you can't climb over. And we can make it work. We can stop them. And when we do, it will be the nicest thing anybody could ever do for Mexico, because it will help stop the $80 billion in drug trafficking going back and forth across the border. That'll be a great thing.
Just real quickly, Eric and I were sitting here, and it was a day, it was a news day. Like, all you do is just sit back and let it roll, because it just, and yesterday was one of those kind of days in news. When you guys wake up in Washington, both Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, whatever everybody is, do you wake up and go, well, I wonder what's going to happen today?
Well, when I'm in Washington, I don't sleep all that much. And one of our problems here is most people, Hal and Eric, most people don't wake up here. They just kind of walk in a trance around here. And, oh, yeah, you want me to vote for that? Sure. Yeah,
okay.
But so anyway, if we could just get people to wake up, then we will be in better shape.
There you go. Start with waking up first.
I still want to come to your place for a barbecue. I still want some of your barbecue.
All right. I'm back cooking again once a quarter. And both sides of the aisle love it, and so does the Capitol Police.
Congressman Louie Gohmert, thanks for all the candid, fun talk that we get every time we have you on. Thank you, pal.
Thank you very much.
I think it's a good day in Washington.
There you go. All right, 6:25. I just